Hi, and welcome to Cover Brand, where we cover all things branding, marketing, and advertising to help you understand what the hell branding is and how it works to grow your business. Welcome and welcome back to Cover Brand. I am Ethan Decker, and today we have another special episode of Cover Brand Covers on Branding with Jimmy Fallon. With me today is outstanding marketing and demand gen leader, innovative brand builder, and the reason my hair is so gray this month, Laura Dodds. Hi, Laura.
Hi, great to see you again.
Great to see you too.
Great to see you. What's your excuse for your hair being so gray every other month if it's not me?
Oh, I have so many reasons. It's so many. It's the joys of being a middle-aged, middle-class dad with a dog, with a mortgage, all the responsibilities.
Oh,
All the obligations plus the sandwich generation thing on top. So lots of things.
so many burdens on Ethan's shoulders.
I know.
Everybody,
I
let's
know.
take a moment.
All my first world issues. Some are real challenges, but nonetheless, we're going to be talking about episode 2 of On Brand with Jimmy Fallon, the new series on
I'm
Peacock and
excited.
NBC. Yeah. You watched it over the weekend as well?
Yes, I did. I did
Good.
indeed.
Good.
I mean,
Yes.
obviously, I'm glued to my TV when it comes out initially, and then the rewatches are over the weekend.
Oh,
I'm
yes,
huge,
yes.
huge on brand fan.
I would not normally rewatch a show like this, except now that it's part of the Cover Brand series. Obviously, got to do a little extra listening.
He's such a hard worker, everybody.
Let's tell folks what they missed. We'll give them the lay of the land, and then we'll get into the analysis. We'll pepper it in with random brand science information as we go.
Excellent. So this week the client was Southwest Airlines.
That's right.
They were rolling out their campaign about extra legroom, which I don't know if you caught this, but at the very end of the episode, they sneak in that it's not for everyone. It's just for some seats.
Yes, they did announce, you're right. They announced 34 inches of leg room, and then later they explained maybe up in the nice section.
Mm-hmm.
Also, it coincides with picking your seats for the first time, assigned seats.
Yeah.
Because that's also a huge difference for Southwest and has been for, 30 years, 40 years? So many reasons Southwest has grown from a little, Southwest airline to the nation's largest carrier by people carried or by passenger miles or something. It's the largest airline in the country. Yeah.
All right. So last episode we talked about how I've been seeing a lot of ads for the assigned seating.
Right.
It'd be interesting to see how this will coincide with the assigned seating advertising they've been doing.
Yeah, they're not entirely clear about how much they're going to really embrace this campaign or how much they're going to invest in the ideas coming out of the TV show, which is fair. I get it.
But overall, they still need to promote this extra legroom, whether it's through one of these campaigns or through something else.
Yes.
And I think, honestly, I do believe that was one thing that sort of tripped up a lot of people in this competition, was trying to meld the two.
The two of what? The legroom?
Legroom and assigned seating.
It's true. People did try and throw that in there, but even though it wasn't in the actual brief.
My understanding was that they did need to sort of add that in if possible.
Okay.
That they needed to sort of coincide, but maybe you got a different rate of the brief.
Which is always an issue. Are you reading the brief the same way? Are you reading the brief the way that the clients wrote it? Yeah. You don't know. Mm-hmm. So the client was Southwest. We had Whitney Eichinger. I think that's her name.
Better you than me.
I think it was Whitney Eichinger, and she's a Southwest vet, isn't she?
Yes. She is currently the chief communications officer at Southwest. She started her career there. Was there for 15 years
Yeah.
in the PR, media relations, communications department. Did a couple other things, and then ended up back at Southwest. So
Yeah. Once again, we have an insider, a long stander, someone who knows the brand really well, and that often can cut both ways because you might become more conservative or feel like been there, done that after too long. But I think that's the interplay between a client who's long-standing on the brand and agencies who might have fresh perspective and fresh eyes. And in this case, very fresh eyes.
so one thing I did want to note is that Bozma St. John had a quote when going over the pitch. She said, brands don't come out with new features often. And so when they do, it's huge. How do you feel about that?
Well, we can assess whether it's factually true or not. And I would say um, it depends. Depends on the industry, depends on the category. Some places are coming out with new features all the time, like printers, right? Inkjet printers, toner printers, cartridge printers, new features, blah, 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 all the time. Car companies have to come out with some new features all the time. Although
Mhm.
I think as an industry matures, all of the players settle in on the same basic features that provide the same basic benefits. So all cars have steering wheels in the same place, pedals in the same place, even the door handles and window
Mhm.
mirror adjusters are almost in the same place, or at least they have side mirrors. Cars are almost all basically the same elements. And so um, companies do try to differentiate by having new features, but you just have to realize in a rapid economy, those differences get eliminated fairly quickly as your competitors copy them.
Yeah.
Which means from the science perspective, one more thing, that from the science
Of course.
perspective, and I was just talking about this in China with some clients who are getting copied quickly for their innovations in China. Um, from a brand science perspective, it means the major differentiator you can usually bank on the longest is your brand, your
Whoa.
image, your logo, your reputation, your vibe, all of those things together, not just your logo, but your brand, what you're famous for. People may be able to copy the product, but it'll be harder for them to completely dupe your brand. Just saying.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, as a consumer, I didn't necessarily agree with that statement, that
Mm-hmm.
brands don't often come out with new products. Brands, there's something new every day that I have to
Yeah.
buy or I'm
Yeah.
supposed to get in on, right?
Yep.
But in the airline industry specifically, a mature industry, there isn't a lot of innovation.
Right.
But I think that sort of goes to the fact that this isn't really an innovation. This isn't something new.
Mm-hmm.
Assigned seating, it's something that every other airline does.
Right.
And Southwest is trying to pitch it like it's new and innovating, which is funny and interesting take,
Yeah.
but it's actually not new.
True.
And
True. It's
when
new for
they,
them.
it's new for them.
It's new for them.
When they
So that's
first announced it, I was
yeah.
afraid like that's the one differentiator they really had in my mind.
Yeah.
Is that not assigned seating, but the unassigned seating. So that made
Correct.
me pause.
You know,
Um,
that's let's take a second, Laura, to talk about the differences. Because we said Southwest already was a big airline. It's the biggest in the country. But
mhm,
there's a book called Blue Ocean Strategy. It came out probably 20 years ago. And it had this little strategy map that it would make where you take all of the factors or variables in your industry, and then you just kind of rank where companies are on that map.
mhm,
Southwest was one of the best examples of an industry that zagged when everyone else was zigging. So, for instance, they had no first class cabin, they had no executive lounge, they didn't offer food on their flights because also they didn't have long flights. They were not about the hub and
mm,
spoke model. The hub and spoke where you always have to go to
yeah.
Denver for United or Atlanta for Delta, and then fly somewhere else. Southwest was direct, short, nonstop flights. So you could go right from Denver to Las Vegas. You didn't have to go through Dallas. Um, so there were, and here's another one. They had one airplane. They had one
Whoa.
model of airplane. It's
Oh,
a
okay.
Boeing
Okay.
737. Sorry, not literally a one airplane.
Like one single airplane. I mean, you got to start somewhere.
They did. They probably started with one, but they have one type of aircraft that they buy entirely for the entire country, which
Okay.
means fewer parts, fewer confusion, fewer complexity about which type of aircraft will take people from this place to that place. So there were many ways that they were different than other brands. And of course, the super cheap fares were a huge part of it. But it all added up to being a very differentiated offering in the industry. When you were flying
Yeah.
Southwest, it was not at all like United or Delta or American, which all kind of basically had the same stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's get into the challenge this week. The challenge was part one of the challenge is to come up with a campaign and a tagline announcing the new legroom that Southwest Airlines is excited to roll out.
Yeah.
So we had some great challenge, some great pitches,
and some not so great.
And some not so great. Well, what I think is really interesting that we really have to emphasize is that they don't get a ton of time for this.
No.
I believe them when they say you get 1 hour for the first round and 2 hours for the second round. There's not much time to do these things. So some of these campaigns might not be super polished, but they've got to film it all in one day. So they're doing the best that they can. I know doing creative on a timeline can be really challenging. So I have to give props to everyone for coming up with something.
Yeah. Sometimes creative can be good if you do have a deadline, because it just forces you to I don't know what, to get the work done. But you're right. They really did not have a lot of time to come up with ideas or even do research or market research or trends. You didn't hear any of that this time.
And I think that's one thing that we might have. I do think we saw that reflected in the pitches this week. I don't know that they were as strong as last week, but they don't get as much time to understand the brand voice, the do's and the don'ts. With that being said, we had a lot of campaigns just really celebrating the leg, as it were. Ajal, Elijah, and Ryan all had campaigns specifically just highlighting where the main imagery is a leg. We had a superhero comic book theme from Mahari. Piper said we've got that growth mindset, and she was coming out of a flower pot. And
oh man, speaking of, the presentations themselves were, of course, a little kitschy, of course, a little silly. I understand you need to be selling, as we talked about last time. You need to be bringing energy, but it was funny to see them being like, what the hell is she doing?
Yeah. I actually have that note too, that we really push the gimmicks on the pitches. But two of the three that, no, sorry, not two of the three, just one of the top three didn't really have any gimmicks. And that was Bianca's. She really let her campaign speak for itself without being gimmicky.
She had a nice fur coat. I'm sure it was faux fur, but
let's hope so. PETA, don't get mad at us. Okay, PETA? We had nothing to do with it.
I didn't read the fine print at the end quickly enough to know whether no animals were harmed in the making of these fur coats.
But yeah, a lot of them were very gimmicky. We had Ryan taking off his pants to reveal his legs. He had shorts underneath, don't worry.
Southwest red.
Southwest red, or as close as possible. So yeah, those were some of the campaigns, the top three. Do you want to reveal our top three of the week?
Top three were number one, Ryan, which was breakaway pants, legs deserve attention. And then he had a big picture of a Marilyn Monroe legs. So legs deserve attention was his idea. Number 2 was Mahari. They said it was creative and it blended what the brand is. And what was Mahari's was the superhero imagery. His line was weird. It was you defeated more leg room, and you
Yeah, I
defeated it.
didn't get that.
Yeah, it was by buying the seats with more leg room, you became a superhero. So that was a little weird, but the visual of
Mhm.
the superhero and the cartoon panels, the comic book panels, was what I think really sold them on the idea, not the line. And then number 3, Bianca, as you said, her idea was, I just had it written down here.
Take up
Take up
space.
space. We have the room, and it was about big personalities, which they loved and they thought it was really fun and neat. And it didn't have the exact precise connection to more legroom, which is
Mhm.
kind of what I think they wanted in the next round. But they loved the thought of we have enough space for big personalities, and it fits Southwest's ethos pretty well too.
And I think that there was something there with the leg room, that
Mm-hmm.
she presented a billboard with 3 different personalities.
Yep.
We have space that's extra, just like you, a woman wearing a fur coat, a bodybuilder saying it's bulking season. So, and that's fine because we have the room. So
Yeah.
there was something there, at least with the bodybuilder. It's a big person, they're bulking, they're getting bigger, they're taking up more space
Yes.
that's available there. So I think there was something there that connected to the leg room.
Yeah. And frankly, you could have literally just said, take up space. Now we have more leg room, or take up space. We
Yeah.
have the leg room. And that would have worked. And it would have been a clean, tight addition. We'll see where Bianca took it. I'll start by saying, so, there was one other thing we said last week, which I think also pertains here. People were surprised that they came up with similar ideas.
Mhm.
And that again is so common in marketing, not just because you have at an ad agency, usually different teams like writers and designers working on the same brief. But then when you have different agencies pitching, of course, it's bound to happen that people will have the similar ideas because we circulate around the similar areas and similar places. And sometimes that's good. And sometimes you want to do something really, really different.
Yeah, I think when you have 3 that have a similar idea, it means that there's something there that's resonating to multiple different people. So it's interesting to explore that.
Yeah.
Now, as a competitor, you probably feel like you're being compared to the other campaigns that are similar, but
Mm-hmm.
that doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing. They
Right.
wanted to treat it like it was this like horrible thing. Oh my gosh, they have the same idea as me. But
Right.
really it showed that there's something there.
Right. And then the blunt, direct thing, for instance, I talk about insurance brands a lot because I think they've had a revolution in how they do marketing. And it's really different than how they used to do marketing 25 years ago. All of them, many of them, I should say, have a very similar message around saving money. It's just said slightly differently. You've got Progressive has the price gun or the comparison website.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Liberty Mutual, customize and save. And Geico has 15 minutes can save you 15% or more. And those are the differences are meaningful because a small difference in how you communicate can result in a large difference in the impact. It's kind of like a small difference in your makeup can have a big difference on how you look.
All
I
right.
know when I wear guy liner and I put it on poorly, everybody notices.
Makeup expert Ethan Decker says,
Yes. Go to
difference
my
between makeup.
TikToks for all my latest tips.
Get ready with me to record cover brand.
That's right. It's the cover band cover up, sponsored by Coverful. So
maybe she's born with it. Maybe it's brand fine.
so these little differences can result in really big differences in impact, as we know. Little your hair's a little bit out of place, and it's a big deal because that's all people stare at. So in this case, right, the little differences between these ideas about legs and legroom actually do have a big impact.
We see
So
that in digital marketing a lot as well.
yes.
The all powerful A/B test, where
Mm-hmm.
you take one little thing. It could be the color of the button, the CTA copy, the shape of the button. Is it rounded corners or is it square corners?
Mm-hmm.
The minutia that you're testing to see how it performs in the moment. Now, with digital, we luckily get the data, a lot more data to be able to see what worked and what didn't
Mm-hmm.
once you have enough views, impressions, etc. But if it's true down to the minutia, what color of the button
Yeah.
should I be using? It can certainly be expanded out to what's the overall messaging on this campaign.
True. Another brand science point about this, which
Woo.
I harp on a lot in my trainings, is a lot of these things are so subtle that we don't consciously know that they're
Mhm.
impacting us. It's under our own radar. I like to say the mind has a mind of its own, and thinks of its own things and makes its own decisions. And often we are oblivious to the real reasons why. And this is a great example. If you were to survey people, what would impact them on buying something from a website, they would not say the shape of the buy now button or the
Never.
color of the buy now button would impact them. They wouldn't even say that matters. And yet, as you said, from market research and doing A/B split testing, you can see that these things have a big impact, except they're completely under the radar of our consciousness.
Absolutely.
Got to get
Being
out there and test it.
relevant to
Yes.
the elephant, as some wise man once said.
Oh, yes. We'll cover elephant stuff in another episode. But yes, that's a metaphor. A metaphor for the unconscious is that it's the elephant in your mind. And it
Yeah.
has its own mind.
So the next part of the challenge was to take their initial campaign and tagline and expand that into a wrap for the plane. And they needed to include photography of real people
Yep.
within that campaign. And they
Yeah.
had
Photo
2
shoot.
hours to do this.
That's a crazy photo shoot.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they weren't necessarily looking for the most polished idea. I don't think they were anticipating a perfectly polished, ready to go wrap.
Nope. Nope.
Um, but this is where something really interesting happened. And we see Bianca, who I think had one of the strongest initial pitches,
Mm-hmm.
really lost her way.
Yeah, that was a little odd. Bianca went from an idea about, be a big personality. We have space for you. Take up space. We have the room.
Mm-hmm.
And then vignettes about people with big lives, big personalities. To take up space, go to space, like
Mm-hmm.
travel to space. And her wrap for the airplane made it look like a rocket ship. And she had the photo shoot where everyone was wearing spaceship helmets. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And her team hated it, hated that she had to do
They did.
that, or she wanted to do that. And they had to go along with it.
And I
That
think one
sucks.
thing that's, I don't think necessarily the space and space is a bad campaign. It's just frustrating because I liked the initial concept so much,
Yeah.
but and I don't have a solution, mind you. I don't know how, I
Right.
don't, oh, if she had only done this and that. But I
Sure.
think they liked the first campaign so
Mm-hmm.
much that when she completely pivoted from that, they were left thinking about that initial pitch
Oh,
and
yeah.
wondering how that related to the wrap. So
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
heartbreaking to see. I wanted to see that taking that first campaign pitch and really pushing that.
What was it that Bosma said about if you have to make people think twice?
I
Something
wrote
like
it
that?
down.
Okay.
If you make the customers think, wait, or click twice, you've already lost the sale.
Yeah. Just, it's the notion, don't make them think. Don't make them, they don't want to think. They want to find
I
the
never
negative.
want to think.
My phrase for that is toilet paper math. No one really wants to do toilet paper math where you have to figure out how many regular rolls are in a jumbo roll, how many jumbos are in a mega, how many plies, how many sheets, how many square meters
Mhm.
per roll. Like that's, and then how many cents per that for regular and on discount. Like it's such a pain in the ass, to use a more, toilety metaphor, of course, toilet paper. But like she's right. Bozma's right. If people have to figure out your campaign,
Mhm.
it's too clever. And I have worked with a lot of ad people who are very smart people and like clever ideas. They can be clever if you get it right away.
Mhm.
If it's clever and it takes extra thinking, no, you've forced people to do toilet paper math and it's a pain in the ass. So Bozeman was right. They were right. Now people have to go from flying to space to having more leg room. Doesn't make
Yeah.
sense. Yeah.
And part of me wonders, maybe she could have anticipated that the second part of the challenge would be a wrap, but
Mm-hmm.
let's assume, they had no idea what the next part of the challenge would be. So when you're
True.
coming up with that initial campaign,
True.
um, unfortunately, there wasn't a thought of how to take it to the wrap. And I
Yeah.
think that's where the stumbling block was.
She also complained about, or not complained. Bianca said she wanted to simplify. She knew it would be bad to have something too complex on the planes.
Mhm.
But imagine if you had at least one really big personality on each plane, right?
Mhm.
Maybe that's the solution, that it's each plane is simple. And then on one of them, you've got someone like BT, who's a big personality in a fur coat with pink toenails. I
ET,
know.
what a treasure!
I know. And then maybe on another plane you've got someone else and they're a big personality. And so each
Mhm.
plane could have featured one big personality person, which would have been totally Southwest. And I think um, the client said at some point, Whitney was saying that she loved the campaigns that featured their customers, and I
Yeah.
think that's a nice touch. It's very Southwest of them to do that too. But Bianca's idea for simplification was out in space, gotta say.
With yeah. So I
Huh.
think,
That's
yeah,
right.
just
She was just
yeah,
off in orbit
off in
somewhere.
orbit, and
That's why
actually
she didn't win.
one thing she didn't win, and one thing that I think set Mahari's pitch ahead of the other competitors.
Mm-hmm.
Mahari had the superhero campaign,
Comic books.
um, the comic books, all of that. He had other ideas for pushing that campaign even further.
Yeah.
And the client really seemed to latch onto that. Say, oh, we could have cutouts at the airports where I
Yeah.
can go and take a photo as a superhero and things like that. So the client and Mahari could see the complete expansion of this
Yeah.
campaign through every single step, all of the different ways it could apply. And the client really seemed to resonate with that, which I think set him apart from Ryan and Bianca's campaigns.
Yeah, Laura, that's a good point. A good campaign has legs. Haha, so to speak. I know, I know. Uh,
Oh my goodness.
come for the brand science, stay for the dad jokes and the puns. But honestly, even before Southwest and the legroom campaign, I have often said, and you know the phrase, this campaign has legs for days. That was even
Mhm.
an idea someone said glad they didn't do. But a campaign that says, oh, and then we could do this. Oh, and then we could do that. Oh, and then we could do that. I love that. I was a little skeptical about Mahari saying that people would do superhero poses in the airport and then tag hashtag superhero. Maybe, maybe not. I assume.
Specifically in the airplane.
Yeah,
He said people can do the pose and tag it in the airplane. And if
yeah,
I am on an airplane and you are posing like a superhero
yeah,
for a photo,
yeah, yeah. It,
no.
not the right airplane.
Absolutely not, sir.
Yeah,
Not
no,
the airplane.
you need to be a micro celeb blogger who is doing those fake photo shoots in the fake private jets in
Yeah.
LA.
Rent
That's
out
where
a
you
private jet and
that's where you
or
do
the
that.
fake private jet set, and
Yeah.
that's where you can do that. But
Yes.
not on any airplane that I'm on.
Yeah.
Say
So I did, but you're right. When they thought about the standees,
that.
they thought
Hmm.
maybe they could actually extend the campaign into the airport itself. And that was just enough, along with the great visual of the passengers being heroed, which I think really that's what made Whitney like it. Was a
Yeah.
visual of passengers being heroed because now they have more legroom, or
Well,
therefore they deserve more legroom. It was kind of, you
mhm.
know, left loose.
When you talk about, the great visual, I mean, how much better of a visual can you get than that comic book style, that pop art?
What do
It's
you,
just so powerful. And I think only the smartest and best brands can really take that and run with it and make it intrinsic to their visual brand.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Zero. I've
You have
never,
no idea.
I've not been to the Applied Brand Science website in the past week and seen the brand new look and feel that you invented for it, Laura. No, and that you brought the whole superhero, well, really pop culture, comic booky vibe to Applied Brand Science. No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, if you go to www.appliedbrandscience.com, you too can see the same visual aesthetic being applied to a different brand,
I love it.
perhaps.
No, I
Perhaps.
love that look. I am a superhero and I am a comic book fan. So it was really funny that you keyed in on that. And I love that we decided overall, basically, no capes, just like
No
Ebony
kids.
Mode. So a little less of superhero and a little
Hmm.
more of pop art. Andy
Yes.
Warhol, Roy Lichtenstein, high culture. But I love it. I love the new look of Applied Brand Science. Y'all should go check it out, appliedbrandscience.com, and see what shape the call to action buttons are and see if that impacts your desire to
Yeah.
bring us in for trainings or brand building.
But yeah, let us know if that changes anything for you emotionally.
But
But
yes.
initial inspiration for the new look of
Mhm.
appliedbrandscience.com, www.appliedbrandscience.com, was initially the nerdy, fun, and smart and sharp feeling of a comic book.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
that's how we got where we were today.
Yeah. Nerdy, fun, sharp, smart. I'll get 2 out of 4 of those probably on a given day, but I'll take it. I love it. I think it's a great look. I love the new design of the website. I love the new functionality of the website. You can find all the stuff on there. God, this is becoming like a promotional reel for the website and Applied Brand Science itself. But what the hell? It's our show. I guess we're allowed to do that, right?
We can do whatever we want.
Pitch, pitch, pitch. Speaking of, okay, are we good on the website? Because I do love the new
Yeah,
website.
I
Thank you.
mean, we'll talk about it for days, but yeah,
Okay,
of course.
it'll come up in new episodes. Um, Pitch. Who was it? Oh, it was BT, who we love. Honorable mention. Crazy big character, big personality. BT. Yep. Guy Fiorodeo is my terrible nickname for him. But he talked about big pitch energy, and the reason, which might not be apparent, is the pitch is the technical term for the space that
Mhm.
each row takes up. So from
I didn't
the
know that.
edge of the front of the seat to the edge of the front of the seat behind it, that's the pitch length. Now the leg room length depends, of course, how deep the seat itself is, but the pitch is from one row to another row to another row to another row. How much does each row take up? So he ran with that and he called it big pitch energy. And it was adorable and it was world wrestling vibe. But yeah, it was lost on most people because
And did
most people don't know that pitch is legroom.
received just the worst bit of feedback one could possibly ever get, which
Yeah.
is couldn't have missed the mark more.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. A big miss, a big whiff.
But
And
we love you, BT.
oh my God, did you see how many tears were shed?
Yeah.
I
I was
mean,
shedding some tears, so
reality TV 2 episodes in, and like even Ryan was crying next to him. And yeah, Piper was crying. Yeah, it was an emotional moment.
um one thing we didn't talk about was Ryan's campaign. We talked about Bianca and Mahari in the second round. Ryan's campaign, what are your thoughts?
Ryan's campaign was legs deserve attention. We've got yours reserved. That was the copy. The visual was more different types of legs coming out of the windows in the front of the
Mm-hmm.
plane and then a huge pair of legs in the back. It was it was fine. I think you're right. He was trying to squeeze the reservation piece in there that you could reserve seats, which I thought took made a distraction from the main message, which is more leg room now, and at least in the front of the plane, the front of the cabin. Legs deserve attention. Yeah, that also makes you think, makes you work. It's another step. So visually and the line wise, it just wasn't quite as strong that final round.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My honorable mention of the week is once again my girl Lauren.
Mm-hmm.
Her campaign was "Your flight, your kingdom, claim your throne with extra comfort."
Mm-hmm.
I thought it did really good at communicating what the extra value was, what this new campaign was all about.
Yeah.
But it makes me wonder, what is it that held the client back? And sometimes I think as marketers, we can all relate to having a pitch that we really believe in, that we think is really great, but then the client has some sort of hidden bias, but they haven't
Mm-hmm.
shared with you.
Yeah.
It could be that throne is too elitist,
Yeah.
or it's related to a toilet,
Yeah.
or um, who knows what it could be.
Yeah.
Because I
Or
think
even the
it's
colors. Having gold and purple, which are
Mhm.
regal colors, don't work with Southwest color scheme, which is
Yeah.
the red and blue and yellow. I don't know.
I really liked it, but sometimes there can just be things that the client doesn't necessarily communicate. And since they only have an hour to make these, and there's no really iteration, it's one pitch year in, year out, there's could be something that we missed that we
Yeah.
just don't know from the client's perspective
Yep.
that we could be completely blind to.
It does show, for as unrealistic as it is in terms of a process for creative, it does show
Mhm.
how messy it also is.
Yeah.
It's a messy process. The brief isn't always completely clear and clean. It wasn't really clear to us whether they needed to include the reservation aspect that you could reserve seats. It wasn't really clear whether it was more legroom in the whole plane or not. Like you said, there might be other factors that they didn't even tell us about. And then the creative development process is messy. And there
Yeah.
was one line, I forget who it was. I think it was Bosma. She was looking at the legs coming out the windows and saying, "I'm not sure if this is great or if it's scary." And that's normal. Like, I don't know, is it going to work or not? Or I don't know if this is stupid or brilliant. And sometimes that's why you just try it, you do it, and sometimes that's why you even put it in the market and see if people like it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and you can't tell.
All right. Are you ready to move on to the one and only official Ethan Decker Award for Premium Stickiness of the Week, awarded to the campaign that we'll continue to think about until at the very least tomorrow, maybe even the next day?
The stickiest campaign for me is definitely going to be Bianca's first campaign, Take Up Space. Take Up Space, we have the room for it. It
Mm-hmm.
it it was an idea that was bigger than just leg room, and it had Southwest heart in it, which is important for
Yeah.
Southwest. Is all about heart, because otherwise, well, their line is without a heart, it's just a machine, or without a heart, it's just a plane. But
Mm-hmm.
also without a heart, it's Walmart in the sky. And right? Like, it could have been cheap, no frills. All you get is peanuts. There's no first class. There's no
Mm-hmm.
um, economy plus. You don't even get to pick your row. There's no nice lounge for the first class. Like, it's Walmart in the sky without the heart and the fun and the love. And they really added that as a benefit and an element to the brand. So yeah, Bianca had that piece of it, and then it drifted away, floated away,
Such a shame.
became unmoored. Yeah.
All right. And
Yeah.
then to wrap us up, I have 2 minutes to win it. the
Let's
part
do
of the
this.
show where I pause my screen, or I pause the show after the initial pitch is given. I have exactly 2 minutes, and I have to come up with a campaign to match the brief. And it was challenging this week. This is
Listening.
not a winning campaign. I'll tell you that right now. 2 minutes is not enough to come up with a campaign, but
Okay. I've got it queued up. Are you ready?
I am ready.
Go.
All right. So this campaign really focused on the melding of legroom and being able to have a assigned seat, being able to pick out where you want to sit, and it's forget the unexpected. I think we all can relate to the feeling of getting into a airline seat and you're next to someone who's really stinky or who's sitting funny or who's leaning back and taking up all your room, or there's a kid kicking your seat or whatever that might be, being squished in your seat.
Mm-hmm.
And that can really happen on Southwest where you don't have an assigned seat. So forget the
Right.
unexpected, plays on the visual of animals with crazy legs, particularly the octopus. Like, what happens if you are on an airplane and you sit next to an octopus with 8 legs?
Legs for
That's
days.
crazy. Legs for days. 4 times the amount of legs you were anticipating. Well, now we have more leg room, and you can actually know and anticipate who you're going to be sitting next. If you're traveling with a travel partner, you'll be next to them.
Um,
You can forget the unexpected. You know exactly what
yes.
you're getting. You're getting more leg room, and you know where you're going to be sitting. And it's not going to be next to the octopus with 8 giant legs, or the tarantula with 8 legs, the camel with really heavy or really hairy legs that are taking up a lot of space, or the giraffe
Mm-hmm.
with the really long legs. Forget the unexpected. At Southwest, you know exactly where you're going to be.
You know what, Laura? I had no clue where you were going to take this when I saw the imagery of the camel and the tarantula and the octopus. And then forget the unexpected itself was a little opaque to me. However, the notion, the big concept that we don't like unexpected things, we don't like
Mm-hmm.
surprises, we like certainty is enormous. There's a guy named Rory Sutherland who gave a couple of fabulous TED Talks. I recommend people watch those. And Rory gives one example of one of the greatest marketing innovations of the past 20 years, which is the sign for the public transit, whether it's a subway or a bus, that tells you how long till the next train.
Mm.
That increases rider satisfaction usually by at least 50%. And it doesn't materially change the service. It's the same number of
Yeah.
trains, same number of buses, same routes, same delays. But the fact that you eliminate the uncertainty about when the next damn subway is going to show up is a massive, massive increase in your positive experience of taking the subway.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I love those things myself. When you show up and it's like, yep, next train, 12 minutes. I can sit down, I can go get a water or whatever. But next train, 1 minute. Okay, that's great. So the notion that reserved seating and maybe a little more leg room allows you to reduce the uncertainty is a huge benefit, a big psychological benefit. So I think you're definitely onto something there. I would say you should move on to round two with that.
Thank you. Oh my gosh.
Octopus
Uh,
have tentacles, not legs, but that's okay. We can call them legs.
Close enough. I can
Oh,
just
absolutely.
imagine an
Absolutely close enough.
airplane wrapped in octopus tentacles, and might be a little bit too doomsday, who knows? But
Mhm.
you know, initially this
Yeah.
campaign was envisioned as a commercial. You know,
Mhm.
you're about to get on a flight, and then you see, oh, the only spot left is next to this octopus with eight
Yeah.
legs taking up my space. So
Which took its shoes off.
no,
Who does that on a normal
who does
plane?
that?
The octopus needs to have its shoes on.
Keep all your shoes on, Octopus.
Yes. Yes. So in this case, the octopus has not only got 8 legs, it's kicked its shoes off. Ew. Stanky. Good. Good campaign. Well done.
Well,
On to
thank
round
you.
two.
Thank you. Ah, amazing.
Love it. Okay, that wraps up pretty much our analysis of episode 2 of On Brand with Jimmy Fallon. Some really nice elements about brand science, about the creative process, about the psychology behind a good campaign, and about the functionality of a good campaign as well. And yeah, being direct, being clear, not making people do the toilet paper math. All of those are vitally important. And then nailing the brief and being on brand. Yeah, which
Ooh.
is why they said BT didn't make the cut. Yeah.
Poor BT.
As they would say to BT, bye-bye.
I want to get you a I know you were just trying to wrap up the pod, but last note. I
Lingering in
want
the
to get
aisles.
you a t-shirt or a shirt like BT has, but instead of BT's child's face, we put the Frau
Oh,
all
nice.
over it. Yeah,
Okay.
I think it would be great.
He's got that crazy print Hawaiian shirt with pictures of his baby and hearts, I think.
Yeah.
Huge, like 8 or 10 inches each one. But he's a big guy, so he can drape that well. Okay, we'll have a Frelk Hawaiian shirt coming.
Amazing.
And apparently on the beautiful new appliedbrandscience.com website, we are launching a store. It's not up yet, but tune in soon so that you can get your own Frelk merch. And I'm sure we're going to have the all over print Frelk Hawaiian shirt that you will be designing for it, which I'm very excited about.
Flying off the shelves for sure.
Flying off the shelves with extra legroom. Okay, that's a wrap. Laura, you're the best. Thank you so much. And we'll see everyone for next episode.
We'll see y'all next week. Bye.
So listen, brand science works best when it's a team sport. If you want your crew rowing in the same direction, call me to learn more about workshops, trainings, and talks, oh my, for your company. Head to appliedbrandscience.com to learn more. Oh, hey, you're still here? Good. Now that everyone else is gone, I want to let you know you just won a free Science AF sticker. To claim it, send an email to info@appliedbrandscience.com with your name, address, and shoe size, and we will mail it out to you. You're the best. Seriously.